Today I'm reacting to Frieren episode 15. The next 3 episodes and full reaction are on Patreon. So for those of you who are mad at me for not loving the romance storyline of the last episode, I hope you've forgiven me long enough to watch this reaction. The smell of trouble, okay. Ooh, love that music starting us off. Oh, I love this. It just feels so cozy. 2 years? Yo, it's been 4 years? Wow. Oh, look at all that shading from the trees. That reminds me a little bit of some of the scenes from I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, if you've ever seen that. It's just reminding me, obviously, of D&D, but also specifically of World of Warcraft. Like, we have our tank, we have our healer, you know. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm sure the English dub is less... Oh. Never mind. I was being stupid. It doesn't matter. Ooh, that's a very Fallout sounding instrumental happening. Is he serious? Interesting that he hasn't heard of that in this world. Oh my god, there's so much to talk about with religion in this show. It's fascinating. You have this whole idea of curses and how that relates to Christianity in real life. This is really, really fascinating. I'm so engaged. Yeah, this episode is a lot more my speed than the previous one, to be honest. Okay. That's fascinating. That's so interesting to learn about the limitation of her ability. Great voice actor, by the way. I forgot to mention that the last couple of episodes. Okay. A humanoid monster? He fainted. My boy. Love the pink skies in this show. Just when I see him being like levitated, all I can think of is when they couldn't do that during the snowy terrain they were in for 6 months. Oh, okay. Oh, this is such a thrilling episode already. I'm really enjoying this. I was about to say the anime. I bet the manga for this show is incredible as well. Just you don't know what each next chapter is going to be. This is really fascinating for a inciting incident because he's the new character for the group and he has to now look after them all. That's why they had all that dialogue at the beginning, right? It's giving me Lost vibes, being amongst all the trees and not knowing what's there. Okay, yeah, look. All due respect to the previous episode, that's very scary. All due respect, but this one I'm much more enjoying. Ooh, human fertilizer. Oh, and that visual as well. Really enjoying this. That gave me a wee bit of Evangelion vibes, just with that like big shot. I love the harpsichord and woodwind going on there for the soundtrack. Oh, I bet this action sequence would rock as like a Zelda level. It's so interesting as well to see his relationship to Hyder as well. I love how they're having all these characters from past and present interact with one another. It's brilliant. Mm-hmm. What's she gonna do? Is she already? She's already, yeah. She has it all figured out. Yeah, I like what this episode did, that it used a flashback to reinforce the characterization of them both, as well as their interpersonal relationship. That was really, really strong. Well done, Frieren. And Sark's gonna be like, I was just at the village. You did everything. Stop being humble. Flashback? To hide her again? Oh no, okay. Oh, Frieren. And again, how that links back to the head pats from episode 1. It's brilliant. Vorig. Okay. We're halfway there, alright. Well, yeah, you were told it was 10 years. Oh, hello. Have we got a bit of an antagonist going on? Stultz? Is it Stultz? Just when I saw, like, the red hair and immediately going to Stark, it, you know. Lord Orden. Okay. So, I wonder, has he been told about Frieren? Surely, is this to do with Stark's background? Well, yeah, I mean, we did have that set up. It's interesting as well, again, just having the priest brought into our party as kind of like a semi-hider character. See, again, when we're looking at this kind of resemblance, you can understand why I said Stultz, right? And I take it that's their plan. That's... yeah. I take it that this is going to be a storyline going on multiple episodes, seeing as there's this much setup. And again, the fact that so much has been set up about this town to begin with, then. Well, I don't really think you'll have a choice. So, I'm curious, are we just going to be cutting to 3 months later? That might have thrown my theory about a several episodes long timeline theory out the window. Me. Oh, that's a nice image to what we got in the previous episode with Himmel and Frieren. I'm preaching to the choir here, but they really like their callbacks in this series, don't they? That's interesting. We got that very brief flashback. It's very interesting premise for a storyline. Honestly, I wouldn't have seen it coming. I'm glad they used that flashback, because that exact shot with the sword would have maybe been lost on me. Well, all the trauma, of course, is just going to be flooding back into him. Oh, wow. Excellent. Oh, Stark. I love the emotional intelligence. Yes! Oh, and of course my heart just breaks because Stark didn't have this. The girls being the comedic relief here as well is great. Okay, well I will say, having the setup of the romance from the previous episode is making what's happening here now quite a bit stronger. Oh, of course it took awful. I don't want to do that. Oh wow, look at him! I'm sure for those of you who ship the two of them, you'll be happy watching this scene. I'm doing fine. Okay, that little sequence there was like really stunning to look at. I really enjoyed that. I'm sorry for how much of the music I'll have to cut out due to copyright, but I'm loving what I'm hearing so far. I really am. She's content. Yeah, she's totally content just eating. I love you, Frieren. I'm fascinated. What's going to happen? Is it closure? Oh my god, I love emotionally mature conversations like this. Is this our end of having Stark part of our party? That would be really interesting. Yes. Oh, yes. Again, I'm not knocking anyone's preferences, but I love this so much more than just romance for the sake of it. Not saying that it is, but you know what I mean. Is it the little boy with him? Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yes. Oh, the tying up of the character arcs, just brilliant. I mean, it's easy to see why Fern would be in love, right? Alright, so you might have won me over a little bit towards the romance storyline. Not that I really needed that much winning over. I mean, like I said with the previous episode, it wasn't much to my preference, but I was still going to be going along with everything. I guess it's just a little bit different now, knowing that there's one storyline that I'm not absolutely crazy about compared to everything else. But no, look, it was done really tastefully well. It felt very earned, kind of give, and because again, look, here's the thing. I know that there's been like a lot of great moments between the two of them. I just had my preferences for what was going to be there with the romance, and I am aware of the story we're getting. But look, I think that whatever is going to happen between the two of them with Stark and Fern, it is going to be very well. It's going to be, again, tastefully done. And even as I said during that last story beat there, when she looks at him the way that he's looking at the two of them, and like they purposefully hang on her look at him, so it's like, yeah, like because we're doing little moments like that. Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe a lot of it comes down to, as I said before, because for me personally, it was really off of my radar because I just thought that the show was going to subvert our expectations by not doing something like that. And then, of course, I was the one who was fooled by my own expectation that it felt a little bit jarring when I was watching that previous episode. But, I love this show, though. I really love this show. I mean, I think that the conversation between him and Orden is one of my favorite things that's happened across the last several episodes. Honestly, and I use episode 10 as my reference level with Frieren because, well, by the time you're watching this reaction, it will have gone up on YouTube. So pretty much everyone who will have seen it now. God, episode 10 that was a real shocker in a good way. Shocker isn't even the most operative word I could use there. It was just so visceral. Oh, I loved episode 10. I thought it was really, really well made. I mean, again, like my reaction to it's episode it's episode 15, and of course I'm talking about episode 10 still. But but I mean, that's the thing. Like when Frieren delivered that line, it really took me by surprise. I was expecting her to just be, I don't know, I was expecting her to be um just like disintegrated at a natural means, because we had seen that so often before. I don't know why it didn't cross my mind, but anyway, I use that as my reference. Sorry, long tangent. The point I'm trying to get here is that that scene with Orden rather in this episode is one of my favorite things we've seen uh, in the course of the last 5 episodes. I think that it was interesting as well that we had with Sign. I might have said his name, or did I say his name? No, I think I referred to him as the priest a couple of scenes ago. But if I do get his name mixed up, forgive me. The first couple of episodes of Frieren, I kept saying Fren instead of Fern. Stuff like that is going to happen. It was really interesting seeing how he himself notes in the dynamic that he believes he will be bringing, bringing to the group themselves. What else do I think about that, though? I think that, in a way, he truly can be seen as like this link to the past for Frieren, in that because he was raised by Hater, right? And I know Fern was as well, don't get me wrong, but because he ended up becoming a priest himself, then he encapsulates this kind of standing of like a substitute for Hyder in a way that Fern couldn't. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, at this point, if there's anyone that she'd be a stand-in for, it would be for Frieren, not for Hyder. But I digress. I think that having him in the show is a really interesting dynamic. I would like to see him further characterized. It doesn't need to be anything big like a huge lore drop or anything like that. If anything, I'd like to see him just characterized here in the present moment. I'd like to see his character just kind of when I say character developed, I don't necessarily mean his character has to be given an arc or a particular bit of progress or anything like that. I just would like to see him a little bit more fleshed out, and I guess that will kind of both figuratively and literally come with time, because we've just found out it's now been 4 years since they've been on their journey, which is crazy. I mean, I have been paying attention to the title showing us the year in episode to episode, but still, just to hear it said out loud and acknowledged by the characters is a different thing altogether. Speaking of time passing, I realized as of now, I'm officially through the first season of Frieren. I don't know what the upload schedule is going to be looking like. I do want to stick on the episode. I won't talk too much about housekeeping due to me starting Witch Hat and wanting to keep on top of the Patreon teapot shows, and unfortunately my own physical condition as of the time of recording. I'm still getting my family help me to edit everything. They've been angels for that. It looks like Frieren is still coming once a month. Once a month, Jesus fucking. Once a week for the foreseeable. So it's still quite a considerable distance to go before I'm caught up with the end of season 2, but nonetheless, it feels like it's flown by. And there is naturally going to be a delay within which I film these, and then I hear what you guys have to say, because a lot of these episodes I will inevitably have to just shoot a backlog. I will have to just shoot with a backlog, wherein that in any given week I'm going to actually have 3 or 4 episodes already edited, ready to post on YouTube weeks in advance, because I don't know what way things can change for me medically, where suddenly I'm going to be MIA. So sorry, back to the episode itself. I think this was nice as a halfway point. If I have one maybe bit of a criticism, is that now I don't know if I can say it's a criticism, because I don't know how long we're staying in Varig. I don't know how long we're actually staying here at all. But I feel like, and you see, the show is quite fast paced with regards to the actual timeline, right? But nonetheless, 3 months is still a long enough timeline that sure they would have been resting and that kind of thing, and we did get a nice montage there, but I'm wondering if we're going to have anything else to kind of like to slow down the pace for these characters, because what I'm about to say next, I don't mean as a pure criticism, I guess. I It's hard to describe this. It's just we've developed a pattern here. We have developed a formula and a procedural, and I think that that's good. That is to say that I think it's effective. I think that they're doing it well. But this seems to be the type of show where, similar to Frieren herself, not really staying in the one place for too long. And, episode structure wise, it is kind of quite standard for us to have the interspersal of flashbacks and how that ties to where characters are in the present. I just kind of feel like for the last several episodes, even including the one where we got signed, it seems to be like, and this is the lesson we learned this time, or this is the issue we solved this time around. And of course, that obviously goes without saying when it is a road show, right? When it is a journey. But I just kind of feel like now that as the characters said themselves, just double checking I'm still recording, yep. As the characters say themselves, we're now halfway to our destination. This episode was great. This episode had really, 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 really great characterization for Stark. Oh, I love that scene. I really, really did. But I'm wondering if maybe at this point we could do with an episode that just like not like a flashback episode or not like a clip show necessarily, but maybe a clip show. Maybe a clip show would work. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Have I seen any anime that had a clip show episode, with maybe the exception of like classic Pokemon or something like that? I don't know, but yeah, the storyline, because it's funny in the reaction when Orden was doing this whole thing, it's like I did not see the storyline coming, but how they used the plot in this episode to characterize Stark was just really, really great. I think I'm going to leave my review there. As of this point in time, as like the day I'm recording this, the newest episode up on YouTube is episode 9, and I've heard from a couple of you guys with the later episodes as well. So I'm dying to kind of just hear more about what you guys have to say about everything. Again, that's kind of well, you see, it's a blessing and a curse. It's a curse in the sense that obviously I have to wait weeks before I get to hear what you guys have to say. You guys have to wait weeks before you get to like say things to me. And then if there's something I missed, then I don't find out until weeks later. And then maybe it's something that could have shown up in a couple of weeks' time. I know there's that aspect, right? But the other aspect to it is, one, I get to watch the show at my own pace. I get to binge it and, well, not necessarily binge it, but I get to go about it in a pace where if I'm like backlogging episodes, essentially, that it works for me. Do you know what I mean? Apologies if you heard a vibration just there. I need to wrap this up soon. But I suppose the strongest thing about this layout is that, as you know, I rewatch the episodes, not just through the editing process, but before I shot episode 12 onwards, I rewatched the first 6 to 7 episodes just to like get it all back into my brain again. And to rewatch it with the knowledge I had now, I actually found myself getting quite emotional during episode 1. And what I'll most likely do is, before I get to episode 20, I'll stop kind of like backlogging as much, and I'm going to really relax and I'll probably relax, and I'll more than likely kind of like rewatch the first 20 episodes all in a row then and just see how I feel about everything, or at the very least from episodes like, let's say, 7 to 20 or something like that. I'd be interested to hear from you guys what kind of format you'd like me, if you want me to kind of give my thoughts on the first 20 episodes of Frieren before I go into the final 8 as its own standalone video, or maybe as like a very long extended review section tacked on to the end of episode 20. I'm not really sure. I'm sure I'm not going to run out of battery filming this. On the off chance, I will just wrap this up now. If I have anything in particular that comes to mind, like if several minutes after I press stop, if I was like, oh yeah, I didn't mention this thing. If I neglected anything, I'll write it in the comments here or on Patreon or something like that. And yeah, great episode, great return to form. Not that 14 wasn't a return to form either. I just mean like this one was really, really up my alley, and I already can't wait for it to be next week so I can watch more Frieren. But gonna leave it there. Thanks so much for all your support, especially on episode 9. In the history of my channel, I believe that is the fastest viewed video in the first 24 hours. I could be wrong about that. Maybe episode 1. But oh my god, your support has been fantastic, guys. I'm always saying it. I can't say enough good things. So I will say just once more, thank you so much for supporting me, supporting the channel. It's already been plugged, but I will say that the Patreon really does support me, because I do want to turn this into my career as fast as I can. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. What a fantastic show. What a really fantastic show. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thanks for watching.